Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Questions and answer session from the Instagram story again. Among other questions, we have criminal activities yoga, 7th Lord Ucha Moon, Jupiter aspects, 10th house, how to see second marriage, how to see directions, where we can go, and friends with celebrities, and a few more. So if you are brand new here, my name is rgendarz, and this channel is all about Vedic or Indian astrology in the tradition of Shri Achyutananda with the analytical, modern, and research example-based approach. If you guys enjoy it and learn something new, please hit a thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm to see my YouTube videos more visible. And if you want to be notified about similar videos in the future, please hit the subscribe button with the bell notification. Alright guys, let's get into it. So the criminal combination is the first question. The best approach to such topics like analysis of the criminal combination is to break it into a few central parts which must be there. So what makes the person committing the criminal activity? And as the Gita says, which is very ancient Indian text, it says that there must be some desire which is the part of the action, as the part of the Sukshma Sharira, which is the subtle body. So the crime is committed in the social context, and also the moon and Aruda has to be there. The moon represents society, Aruda represents our role in the society, how this come into play, and the activity is also kind of the attack. So we have the 3rd and 6th houses from Aruda, the 3rd and 6th, the significator for this house is a Mars. And the Aruda is the manifestation point, which is calculated based on the ascendant Lord placement. Also, the way one is treating others is seen from the 7th house and the TT. The 7th, as it shows others, and the TT is the lunar day, showing our emotion, but also dealing with others. So then, if the ideals doesn't allow, then also one will not commit criminal activities. So for this, we are seeing the general qualities of us in the Kendra, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses. And the general idealism level, we could say, through choices as the Vasta or the state of the ascendant Lord. So also there are houses to measure one's guna. We also have to see that, because as the guna, which is one state, it must fall down before going to such measures. So the guna must be tamas, when the ignorance is veiling the knowledge about the social ethic, which is the kind of form of contrast. So the guna can influence our desires, the morals, and then also the actions. So now the second question is about the 7th Lord exalted in Navamsha being the moon. So the exaltation means the high ideals, high qualities, and that will be regarding the moon, which is empathic and caring. We could also see the dispositor and also the houses loaded by the moon to get the better picture. And we also can see the general karmic dynamics in the Rasi chart, and also seeing the Upapada. And then when analyzing the TT and Venus, this will show how the marriage will be fulfilling. So there are many points to check, and the Varga is showing that the elements are connected to this general dynamics which is seen in the main chart, Rasi one. The next question is about Jupiter aspecting the 10th house. So the 10th in the Rashi shows how we work and general dynamics or the narrative in our projects, and the Jupiter is one of the Karaka, which is the significator, and shows success. And Saturn on the opposite side, it shows the failure. So also you can see these 10th from Jupiter, 10th from the Saturn in the Rasi chart, and to understand success and the failure respectively. When the Jupiter has connection to the 10th house, we have the Karaka yoga from this perspective, which means that there is connection of the Karaka to the Lord. So each house has such significator. For 1st it's Sun, 4th is Moon, 7th is Venus, 10th is Mercury. For Trikona, which is 59, and the 2nd and 11, this is Jupiter. For 3rd and 6th we have Mars. And for 8 and 12, there's a Saturn. So there will be Jupiterian blessings regarding the 10th house, which is the profession. Jupiter shows flowers and fruits. So when one is joining the company, one brings all the resources, or we could say resourcefulness to it. And one is also very balanced in action, very considerate, and long-term planning is there, which is a Shreya, as the Upanishad is saying. There is also some tapasya to it, as it's sattvic planet, which normally starts bitter and then it's the sweet flavor on the end, but it's not tapasya like the fiery planets like Sun, Mars, and Ketu. The next question is how to see second marriage. The marriage is always seen in the 7th house and the Upapada. Now we have to count 8 from these points. 8 means end, so there must something to end first. So now the 8 from 7 will be the 2nd house, and this we can analyze in the Rasi and Navamsha. But for timing, we are always seeing the 7th house, and that will also shows in the Rasi chart, the 7th house, the general disposition towards others, and that will not change no matter which relationship. The next question is about the most malefic yoga. So I would say that the hardest one are in the Sutika chapter of Brihadarashara Hora Shastra, and this shows a very short life combination. So Brihadarashara Hora Shastra is the classical, very old text of astrology, and the Sutika chapter shows about birth circumstances for the child delivery, and it is very interesting, and one can learn a lot from this chapter. And this yoga will show the denial of protection in life itself, so it's very serious when the sattva is not developed in the person, which is also responsible for life. In this context, we see, for example, Jupiter in the 8th house retrograde aspected by malefics, as this yoga is there also from this chapter. This can, if not cancel, this can give a short life. And then we could see also the Panchanga yogas, as they show what is basically the reason for birth, and it's hard to fulfill or basic elements like the emotions or the energy if it's not there. So there may be some, whatever is there, some blockage which can be causing it. It may be very serious. The next point is that we may see that one area of life is hit at many levels. For example, from Atmakaraka, we are advised to see Lord, Charakaraka, and the Karaka. If all three are afflicted, then it may be denial. If two, then it may be delay. So for example, for finances, we see Jupiter, Dara Karaka, and 2nd and 11th lords to see general prosperity when it comes to finances. The next question is about the friends with celebrities. So this combination has a name in Jyotish astrology. It's called Raja Sambandha Yoga, which means the association with a king or a king-like figure. So there are many yogas for this. For example, Amatya Karaka related to 10th, or Amatya Karaka related to Atma Karaka, or Parivartana, which is exchange between Lagna and the 10th house. And there is even the whole chapter about it in Brihadarashara Hora Shastra. So I invite you to see and read those shlokas. They are very interesting ones. And I would say that for having influential friends, you also need to see 7 lords for general people coming to you. In Dushtana, it can mean that these people may be more spiritual or philosophical. You can also check the 11th Lord and the Aruda of these houses. And also you can check 2nd from Moon and the Aruda. Now, what is the value these people are bringing to these influential people? That is a good question. What they are adding to their life? Is it kind of assistance or whatever resources we are talking about? Then maybe the Saturn has to be very strong. Now the next question is about the directions. We are examining the directions from the Moon and the Aruda. We see especially the 10th from Moon and planet having the directional strength from the Aruda. So for example, you can see Jupiter and Mercury, they have a directional strength in the Aruda. Then these directions like north and northeast are favorable for you. And the 10th Lord from Moon, we see Mars, Badaka, movable sign, even 8 and 12. This may give the foreign support for income, and see also Navamsha for this. So that's gonna be it for me. I hope you find this interesting and informative. If you do, make sure to click the thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, please write below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. See you in the next one.